Morning team. Right, today's another day. Itching to get into it, but I need to catch you up. Lots happened before I started this. Like I say, I wish I had started filming sooner. So I'll slowly catch you up on what I'm doing and where I've got to. As you can see, I've chopped lots of holes before I've started bracing anything. One more thing to mention before I carry on. There is more than one way to skin a cat. My project involves making this a two-door, replacing the floor and the braces, and unfortunately, as you can see, I can't put my project on a rotisserie. So I'm going to attempt all this while the car's still on the chassis. This is where I'm at. Because I already started, I've placed some parts there with magnets and vice grips, what I've already cut out. I was hoping to do one floor brace at a time, but when you haven't got good steel to weld to, well, sometimes things change. I'm at the point I want to get in some bracing, and before I do so, I thought I'd better catch us up a little. Alright, here goes. I didn't get to show you this part yesterday. This is the underside of my sill in the wheel well area. They'd riveted a patch over the area. So in trying to do so, I'm trying to find some kind of point where I can at least mount some new fresh steel. I started making patches. As you can see, I've cut out this one. And to start with, an easy method for some of you guys out there. Where did I have it? Simple as that. I start making a piece out of cardboard as a pattern. This is my pattern. I have trimmed some off that edge on the pattern. This is my patch panel. Ooh, that's dark. Right, where were we? Right, in doing so, I thought before I start pulling things apart, I'd better start trying to make some kind of patches before I get into it, because some of these patch panels and things you can't buy. I will show you how I did make this patch a bit further on, and I haven't welded it in because I want access to everything at the moment. I've got my patch right to the size where I can slip that in there and should fit nicely. I'll show you soon. Right, when you guys decide to make patterns using cardboard, you want a nice thin cardboard, but nothing too thin, nothing thick, none of that cardboard with this serrated stuff in the middle. This is another pattern of another piece, which I'm in the process of right now. And I'll show you a bit more about that soon. Alright, back to this one. This was the first patch to make in this area before I took anything else apart. I just made my cardboard patch to follow this line, and I didn't know how far it was going to go into this edge. Right. Hence, I started cutting into this. There we go. That's better aim. Because this has been butchered so much, I was very happy to see that this panel here is original. And a big note to you guys out there, none of these 50s cars were lined up like cars were today. So we don't have to be super fussy around these areas. That patch I showed you before. There we go. And where are we? Oh. Okay, as you can see, that roughly fits there. I still have some work to do. Just the last little bits. As you can see, I need to trim that edge a little. And taking off that piece, I could see how it all went. Then allowed me to take off the floor. I'll get rid of that one. As you can see, the corner of my floor is pretty rusty. So what I've done here, your car's put together with spot welds. I've drilled through the spot welds. First I cleaned off the steel where I wanted to cut. As I say, I'm going to be putting in a floor brace. And the only way to get this one in was through the top. So I've taken it past the point. Where my brace is going to go in. So I can do my weld, clean up, and my overlap is further past. Makes it a lot stronger. Anyway, after that patch I made, off came this floor. I have these little things called clecos. These are very handy. But before I took that floor off, I cleaned up the steel and I put in these drill holes for these clecos before I done anything. So that every time I put this patch back in, I put it back in, line up that hole, and you know you're pretty much kosher. Anyway, right, so I got to that. Drilled it off. I've cleaned up underneath. And as you can see, there's all the rusty part. From what was on top. A little bit of ugly bloody welding going on there. Don't know what's happened there, but we're going to eliminate that anyway. And as I say, this is turning to a two-door, so things are going to be a little bit different. There we have it. Was happy to see, after what you saw in the sill in the last video, that is actually factory. Yay. Which gives me some kind of reference points. And then when I saw what I had, I thought, well, I wanted to put this brace in and this part of the floor back in before anything else. But like the rest of the car, without having nice steel to weld to, I have to take it on a little bit different way. I will show you. I have a new one of these. Before I go any further, I've cut some 6 foot lengths, exactly on 6 foot, of a decent gauge steel, not sure what size, but it's decent for bracing. And I've lifted the body off the chassis just enough to get these rubbers out under here, under where the bolts go through. I did that so that when I put in the other one, it's not under pressure. And if you see here, I can see exactly how much it sits off, as I've let all the rubbers stay in every other mount. Alright. Okay guys, just a little one today. Can't wait to start showing you guys some metal shaping. I better get doing something and start bracing. Show you where I put the braces, and hope you have a good day, eh? See you next time.